Hey, Vision Chasers, Dr. Bird here. I want to talk to you about goals. Goals are what help you to make sure that you are headed in the direction of your vision of success and beyond. Goals add more focus to your commitment. Goals help you to make sure that you're not wasting time. Let's take, for example, say you're in school and you've got a test that's coming up and your goal is to get an 80% on the test, right? So that's definitely measurable. Goal is to get an 80% of the on the test, and the test is taking place in 30 days. So within those 30 days, there's some things that you need to do, and conversely, there are some things that you should not do in order to make that goal a reality. But when it comes to goals, we we need to check ourselves at times because we can fool ourselves into believing that, yes, of course, I'm doing everything I can in order to make my goal a reality and chase my vision of success. We can fool ourselves into believing that. And so that's why I want to submit to you the quote of the week. And it is this: don't mistake activity for achievement. Once again, don't mistake activity for achievement. And I want to break this down for you. I want to break this down for you because there's activity, and then there's meaningful work. Those are entirely different things. There's activity and there's meaningful work. Let me talk about those two things. Activity is just what it sounds like. Activity is you're doing things, and the things that you're doing, they look good in the eyes of others, but deep down, you know that you should be doing more, you know that you could be doing more, or on the flip side, you've convinced yourself that no, nothing is wrong with this activity. This activity is what I'm supposed to be doing in order to get closer to the goal. But my friends, vision chasers, I want to caution you that activity is without focus and it's aimless. It's a waste of time. In the scenario we're talking about with the test, it activity looks like, sure, I turned in my assignments, but those assignments and doing those assignments, it didn't change the way that I think. But I got a good grade, but you missed out that in that scenario, you miss out on the most important part, which is changing the way you think, because what you want to drive the grade is that changing of the way that you think, because that is going to reflect itself on the test that you actually have it and you have it permanently because it's reflected in your thinking. Activity also looks like you're working in a group. Well, let's say you're working in a group with your friends and you're doing more socializing than you are actually learning. Once again, to the natural eye, it looks like, oh, you're working. That's activity. That's activity. Another example of activity in this scenario is copying down notes that you know you'll never, ever look at again. And that doesn't help to accomplish that goal. That's just activity, and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't represent any kind of achievement because it doesn't help to accomplish the goal. But meaningful work is different and it's better. And here's why. Meaningful work is work that takes into account the goal and the time sensitivity of the goal. And remember, I said before, when you state a goal, there are things that you should be doing and there are things that you just can't do because you've committed yourself to this goal. So in this scenario, yes, meaningful work is reviewing the notes, but reviewing the notes with a purpose. It's going through the different concepts that you're studying in a unit to make sure, do I have this concept? Yes or no? If not, I'm purposefully going through the notes and I'm looking at everything that pertains to that concept to make sure that I 100% have it. Going through the notes with purpose. Meaningful work is also scheduling and actively participating in a study group. You see, if you can teach something, oh, you know it, and study groups like that, that gives you the opportunity to practice. And it's just something that happens in your brain when you hear yourself speaking this knowledge, speaking your learning. It just really solidifies that information in your mind. And so meaningful work is taking advantage of those opportunities. And also meaningful work is asking questions of your teacher, and not just asking questions to be asking questions. It's asking questions based on your review of your notes, based on some of the things that came up in your study groups. They're questions with a purpose, questions that your mind has generated through your own meaningful work. Because when you engage in this kind of self-reflection, it helps your teacher to better help you, which obviously that's going to get you closer to that goal. So I want to leave you with three things in order to make sure that you're engaging in meaningful work and not just activity. Meaningful work means that you have action steps. Action steps are the things that they're written out, and those are the things that you have to do in order to make that goal a reality. And with action steps, you need to make sure that you're reviewing those action steps and you're holding yourself accountable. And action steps, they make it a little bit easier because what you should be doing. It's written there for you. The second thing that helps to make your work meaningful and not just activity is reflection. Self-reflection gives you the ability to take a step back and look at the things that you're doing and assess what you're doing. Is this are you doing the things that you should be doing? Should you be doing something else? What other things could you be doing? In that session, you generate so many different ideas that could help you. And then also self-reflection helps you to hold yourself accountable, because that's a form of assessment. You can assess yourself to determine, hey, you know what? I could have done X, Y, and Z yesterday and I didn't. I need to do a better job of doing all that I can to make my goal a reality. And reflection also, what that does is it helps you to generate new thinking, new thoughts, new ideas. Bottom line, we don't spend enough time on reflection, but you're a vision chaser. And so vision chasers, they definitely value time spent in self-reflection. And the third thing that you can do to engage in meaningful work and not just activity is you can state your goal. State your goal. Let everyone around you know, hey, this is my objective. This is my goal. And what that does, because sometimes you'll need people to kind of help you to course correct every now and then. And when you state your goal, everybody knows it, and you know what happens then. People are People will call you out. They'll say, "Hey, didn't you say you had this goal, but you're doing this over here? You may need to get it together." And so that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, because we can talk ourselves into making the wrong decision, especially when it's just something that we really want to do. So it's not difficult to get us off that path, to get us to make a decision that we probably shouldn't make, given that we have a test coming up. So stating your goal for others to see, getting some people to help you hold yourself accountable. That helps you to make sure that you're engaged in only the meaningful work and not activity. So to sum that up, you need action steps. Action steps, write them out. Those are the things, those are the rungs on the ladder to get to your goal. And then two, time and self-reflection. Make sure you just give, and if you're just starting out doing that, set a goal for just 2 minutes in self-reflection to see, to assess how you're doing or what ideas you can come up with to get past an obstacle or whatnot. And then three, always make sure that you're stating your goal and you're sharing with other people, and letting them know, this is what I'm trying to do. Because then you'll get some helpers and you'll get people to help hold you accountable. And that's always a good thing. Well, I encourage you to think about that. Don't mistake activity for achievement. And have a wonderful week, Vision Chasers. And until we meet again, please keep chasing the vision.